The Footprints Conversation series present discussions and insights from accomplished workplace and marketplace leaders. We tap from their experiences on key leadership issues that could be of value to professionals and businesspeople working for the Lord in their workplace and marketplace. Today, we are honored again to have the former First Lady and Her Majesty Queen Esther. She has extensive experience in politics, diplomacy, national development, and governance. Her Majesty, we welcome you again to the Footprints Conversations.
I am happy to be with you today, too, and my greetings to your audience. In Part 1, I told you and your audience that I will share 4 leadership lessons from my own experience. The first lesson I shared was shaping. From my own personal experience, I want to tell anyone in your audience who may be going through tough times that if you are a child of God and your focus is to please Him, the tough times you are going through are meant to shape you for something greater. Should I go to the second leadership lesson?
We will get to that very soon, but before then, I had 2 comments from the audience about your tough childhood times as a poor orphan girl you talked about in Part 1. Let me read the comment. It was very audacious then for her as a poor orphan girl to even consider a beauty contest with contestants who have more funds, fan club, connection, and circle of influence than her. How did she manage as a beauty contestant with less money and connections?
Great question. Let me use this opportunity to tell someone who feels called by the Lord for a beauty contest that all those things you mentioned, money, connection, fan club, are all secondary. I didn't have any fun club except my Lord and my Uncle Mordecai. I also want to say that you don't have to compromise your faith, convictions, and morals just to win a beauty contest. If the Lord is sending you to the contest, He has your back and has all that covered. It may sound simplistic and irrational to some of you, but it requires faith and spiritual understanding to apply that.
A related comment, Your Majesty. This audience wanted to know if your uncle made some connections and lobbying on your behalf. Also, we were told that Madam Hegai, who was in charge of all the beauty contestants, gave you some preferential treatment and moved you and your attendants to the best place in the harem. Can we have your take on that?
Ha 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 ha. Excuse me for the laughter. Lobbying and connection? I call it a favor. But if that's what you call it, then I can tell you someone greater than my uncle did the lobbying on my behalf. Let me also tell you that the whole incidents that led to the beauty contest were all orchestrated by my lobbyist, as you may call him. You also have to know that neither myself nor my uncle met Madam Hegai until the day I was introduced to her. To be frank with you, when I arrived at the Citadel where we were to camp for the contest with my luggage, I realized several of the contestants were laughing at my clothes, my shoes, and my luggage. You have to know that as a poor orphan girl and my uncle's limited resources, I couldn't come with the same flashy items as most of my fellow contestants who came from wealthier and more influential families. Actually, the first time Madam Hegai saw me in my clothes, I guess she might have said to herself, "Oh mine, where's she coming from?" But my lobbyist, as you call him, who directs even the king's heart, spoke to her on my behalf, and that favor moved things.
Wow, this is very inspiring, Your Majesty. Now we can go to the second leadership lesson.
The comments were actually very useful for understanding the second leadership lesson, which is serving. As I said, the first lesson is shaping, and the second lesson is serving. Someone in your audience who may be thinking that he or she got to that position because of how smart he is or she is, or as a result of the money or influence of his or family, may not understand what I am about to say. But if you are like me, who got to that position with 100% favor as a poor orphan girl, you will understand that the position is meant for serving and not for yourself. When I stepped into the role as the First Lady, one of the strong convictions I had was that I was the Lord's minister in King Xerxes' government, and everything I do should be done with diligence and effectiveness as to the Lord. My allegiance was to the Lord. My boss was the Lord, so I always strive to go beyond what I was required to do as a First Lady. Let me tell someone in your audience that the position you are holding or seeks to hold is meant for serving. You are in that position and organization as a full-time minister of the Lord, parading as an accountant, carpenter, diplomat, director, or medical doctor. I will build on that in the third leadership lesson.
Oh goodness, Time flies when you are having fun. We will have to take the third and fourth lessons another time.
May I request that my Uncle Mordecai joins me to discuss the third and fourth leadership lessons?
Sure, that would be great. Thanks for that. Please let's show our appreciation to Her Majesty the Queen.
If the footprints discussion has been a blessing to you, pass it on to be a blessing to others. Are you a Christian drama group, literary club, or someone with creative arts talents? Are you interested in using your creative arts talents to convey biblical leadership principles for Christian professionals and businesspeople in the workplace and marketplace? Then bring your talents on board for Kingdom Impacts.